Hey, what's going on, fellow currency lovers? Welcome to Variety and Errors. In this video, we are going to cover a bunch of different errors that you can find on your bills while looking through your pocket change that could be worth a ton of money. Some of these are a little more rare to come across than the others, but let's jump right into it, starting off with repeat serial numbers. Now, repeat serial numbers are just that. That's when 1, 2, or 3 digits are repeated in the serial number. This is also referred to as a type of fancy serial number. So you can Google that term, fancy serial number, and most likely come across a ton of information aside from this video. But these can be worth in upwards of a few $100s. Now there's repeaters where just a few digits are repeated, and then there's a fancy serial number known as a super repeater, such as the one in this picture, where it has a ton of the same digit, but is not to be mistaken with a block repeater, which is something we'll talk about in a moment. These can command a value over face value and be worth in upwards of a couple $100s for a repeater note, so definitely check your currency in your pocket for that. The next error banknote in this video, and this example here is pretty dramatic, but is a misprint banknote. So misprints are another thing that we look for while bill searching pocket change. In any of my bill searching videos, this is stuff that can be just simply misprinted in the wrong place, double printed serial numbers, double printed seals, and stuff that's even printed upside down has been found on various notes. There was a $2006 bill that commanded over $15,000 in auction that had an upside-down Department of the Treasury seal. Now, this is a very, very rare example of what you could find with a misprint, but smaller misprints can still command value over face value of the bill. So keep an eye out for those. Other older and more rare bills would be red seal bills, pictured here as a $2 bill, which in a video I made a couple years back, we covered a couple of red seal bills that I had come across and shown you. I have a few friends that work at banks. Whenever they come across really old bills, they know I love that stuff, and they let me know. But old red seal bills, or kiss me notes, because of the red color, are incredibly rare now, or they're getting more and more rare. And many people love $2 bills, but red seal notes came in more than just $2 bills. You can find them in other denominations of U.S. currency. But for example, a 1928 red seal $2 bill, like the one featured here in this video, commanded $400 at auction. So that's a huge, huge markup from the face value of only $2. Our next rare bill to look for while searching through your pocket change is the lovely star note. I love star notes. Now, I would say that not all of them are as collectible as others. For example, the one pictured here is on an older $50 note, and this is from series 1950. It's going to be something hard to come across these days as far as a $50 banknote and a star note. A star note is also known as a replacement note, which simply means that something happened during the production of that bill. They replaced it with the one that sits, for example, like this one, and they take off the lettering on the end of the serial number and replace it with a star to show that is not the original bill. Now, one like this commanded almost $500, so 10 times face value at auction. Now, like I mentioned earlier when we were talking about repeater serial numbers, the next banknote to look for is another fancy serial number, but much more rare, as it is a solid block repeater. Solid block repeaters are just that. They have the same number across all 8 digits of the serial number. These can command a huge value. They're very hard to come across, but of course, in almost every series, there's at least 1 or 2 or a handful, and it would be something that would, for example, with this $1 note, gathered almost $4,400 at auction for its block repeater of 7s. I personally have not had a full block repeater, but I have seen them in stores and in auctions, of course. I have had a repeater that was 4 7s, then a 0, then 3 7s, and it was a $20 note that I sold for $140. So you can just imagine the possibilities as you go through your notes if you come across a block repeater and what it's worth. The next bill that we're going to talk about as far as error or fancy or rare bills to look for in your pocket money is the ladder serial number. Now, some of these can be worth up to $4,000 or $5,000 at auction. It has been seen many times. Not many of them are worth as much as that. However, an actual ladder instead of a broken ladder, which I'll explain in a moment, can be worth quite a bit over face value. For example, this $1 bill pictured here is a series 1999 and has a straight ladder from 1 to 8 in the serial number and commanded $4,900 at auction. You can also have a ladder that goes in descending order from 8 to 1. You can also have a ladder that does not start with 1 and starts with 0 and goes to 7, so on and so forth. A broken ladder has all the digits, but they're not in order. So keep an eye out for broken ladder notes. I have come across a couple of those in bill searching videos I've done here on YouTube. So check those videos out. I believe one was about 6 months ago. The other one was maybe a year or two ago. Another fancy serial number to keep an eye out for would be low serial numbers. Coincidentally, in our bill searching video I did just yesterday, we came across not quite as low as this serial number of 2 on this $100 banknote, but I did come across a serial number, I believe, of 3174, something like that. My rule of thumb is if there's not at least 4 zeros in front of it, it's not a low serial number. Now, this example would be one that is extremely low. Generally, if you were unaware, the first 10 to 20 notes in a specific series are given out to people like senators and people that work at the BEP, the U.S. Mint. So for someone to sell this serial number of 2 $100 Federal Reserve note at auction is just rare by itself, but they also received almost $15,000 for this bill. Another rare banknote to look for is the silver certificate. Silver certificates are wonderful. Back in the day, you could actually exchange them for their denominational value in actual silver. That's not the case anymore, but they are still wonderful bills that many, many collectors love to gobble up. For example, this 1933 $10 silver certificate sold for $70,000. Now, I wouldn't say many of them are going to sell for that, but this one had other factors to it because of the print run being so low. However, silver certificates in general have a lower print run. So if you come across any of them, a $5 silver certificate, so on any denomination, you can command a quality amount of premium over face value. Now, other notes to talk about as far as ones you can come across in your pocket change as you search through your banknotes for that next big find is stuck digit serial numbers. Now, you've seen quite a few of these. I refer to them as odometer bills because generally the stuck, quote-unquote, stuck digits are on the end of the serial number, the right-hand side. And this is when the rolling mechanism that lays the numbers for the serial number is not greased properly, and it partially turns, so it puts a digit either higher or lower than that of the rest of the serial number. These can command a good premium over face value and are definitely something that collectors will buy. Another rare bill to look for, an error note, would be missing prints. Now, these are very, very rare, but it's exactly as it's called. One of the 3 steps in the printing process used to produce U.S. banknotes was missed. This simply left parts of the bill unprinted and commands a massive premium over face value, where many of these bills have been seen to sell for $5,000 to $10,000. Now, another really great error note to come across is also a result in a mishap during the production process, which is the simple task of cutting the banknotes into individual notes. Cutting errors are just that, one of the uncut sheets of paper currency that got sent to be cut into single notes was improperly aligned, and this resulted in a portion of the bill being cut off or excess paper being left on the bill after the cutting process. These are known to command thousands of dollars at auction and are very, very, very rare. Other things to look for but are honorable mentions are fold-over printing errors, gutter fold errors, blank backs, blank fronts. Those are very, very rare. The rest of these notes you can actually come across while searching through your bills and possibly have that next big gem that you could sell, take us all on a big old vacation. Let me know what you've come across in your bill and coin searches lately. Thank you for coming to Variety and Errors. You guys are the bee's knees. Subscribe and like to the channel if you enjoy money like I do. But otherwise, I will see you in the next video. Peace out.